I've seen the Mexican version.
Because
it's like Optimus Prime.
mm-hmm.
He's like, y recuerden, like, por la espalda, like, me critican, y por enfrente me la mastican. You know?
Wow.
It's just,
There's like little
that.
sayings.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Like, si hay una sonrisa, cabe la longaniza. You're like, whoa, Optimus.
What's up, everybody?
How are you guys doing?
Welcome back to Shadow Beans Podcast, a mariachi podcast.
Established 2020.
For real,
21.
2020. No, it's 2020.
20?
It was the pandemic, bro. It
Yeah.
was like straight up like mass. No, actually, it was before mass. It was like when nothing was pretty much going down. It was the summer because it was in July.
Wasn't it
So-
19 then?
Huh?
Wasn't it 19 then?
No, it was 20.
Because I
And
thought
the-
COVID hit like 2019.
No, wait. The pandemic hit March of 2020. That's
right.
in the record books. You could look it up. Like, that's exactly when it happened. I remember we were still gigging, and then it kind of just stopped. And by the time we were going to start the podcast, we had barely gotten like a little bit of work before. And I still remember, we were at a gig for Incredible Men, and we were putting up the stuff. And I had like the idea like to do the podcast already.
Oh.
And I remember I was just telling you, I was like, it's just a podcast where, hear me out. Like, basically, I was like, all this shit we say in the van, but then we record it.
I'm like, you want to get canceled?
No. It wasn't that bad, but it was just like, it was just like, well, you could just repackage it, and then put it out for a podcast.
People are just going to be like, cringe.
Well, it was also because at the time, everything was becoming a podcast. Like, I think podcasts has been around for a while, but it's just that it hadn't.
It exploded, I feel like.
It kind of exploded, yeah, because nobody had anything to do. And like to this day, like I already had just microphones, and I had in the beginning, I think I started with my phone camera. So I mean, that's kind of like how it got put together. Like it was, I already had stuff on hand. All we had to do was record at that point. So maybe we should have been in our house at the time, because we shouldn't have been like, I guess you coming over with your Hermanes and shit. But oh well, I mean, we did it, and here we are, 140. There's a episode 142 episodes of Shadow Beans Podcast. We appreciate you guys coming back for another one of these little episodes. But we are excited to get back at it. Like I said yesterday, last week was like the first one, so we kind of got a lot of I guess you could say catching up with what was going down the last couple of months. But yeah, we're going into April. Today, it was, this is yesterday. It was like cold as hell for some reason.
Yeah.
Like, it was snowing in Amarillo, Texas. And then I think it was like hot in the valley. So it was like you could have all the seasons like in Texas.
Yeah.
Like that really is a thing. Like and
We have it all, man.
we really do. So like if, I think like today, like I went to school. Well, like this, like I had my Colombian and I had a long sleeve or whatever. But when I went out there, now it's like sunny and it like feels okay. Like it's not cold at all.
It's 63 degrees.
That's what I'm saying. Ahorita está fresco. Like, yeah, it doesn't necessarily ever stay the same temperature here. But I mean, we're going into April, and we're getting into cooler springtime tornado weather. So that should be fun. But and it should be fun to gig around that time with all that stuff going down. So I mean, we'd had gigs before where like it starts pouring, or like last year where we had like the movie Twisters come out and we were in the Twister.
Oh, yeah.
That was the thing. So like that's coming up for sure. Like here for the spring. So
Did you tell the tornadoes that were coming up last week?
dude, every freaking week it seems
crazy.
like we get like a warning like on my phone. Like
Yeah.
because now like you can get a warning like on your phone, but like before you have to watch TV. Or I guess you could just look outside. Like you just you're like, chingados, mira, oscuro, you know, but like you start seeing the thunder and you start seeing lightning. And you're like, okay, something's gonna go down here, and it's Texas, so like that's the thing. You could get your house destroyed, like it's just a thing.
There was when was that big wind? Do you remember?
Big wind
Yeah, it got like really windy, like around like 5 in the morning.
today.
No way.
Oh.
Like was it in the recent month? ¿No te acuerdas? Like the sirens went off and everything.
But because of the wind, like there was a tornado. Oh.
No, well, it was a tornado alert.
Tornado
I
weather.
don't know if there was a touchdown. There's never a touchdown here with the Cowboys.
That was never mind. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah. No, yeah. No, but yeah, it's been like I know what you're saying, like it's severe weather. I mean,
I
here.
thought I was gonna die, bro.
Okay.
Because that's how strong those winds were. You remember? You were probably asleep. You're a heavy sleeper.
Was it in the morning? I remember waking up to this big ass freaking thunder.
It wasn't like 5 in the morning.
Yeah, era temprano, and I just remember. Well, now that I sleep with like a sleep machine, right? Like I'm out, like I'm asleep.
Yeah.
But I mean, that did wake me up. But that's the thing with like the machine. So like the machine is pouring like oxygen into your nose, right?
Yeah.
So it's essentially helping you breathe. So like I remember like if you're asleep, I've had it before where like I'll wake up for something, and I'm like, but it's like if you take off the mask, it literally goes like
yeah.
It doesn't feel like that when it's in your nose, but like if I wake up and I'm like, oh shit, okay. Like since so much air is being pushed into my nose, like it's almost like it forces you back to sleep. It's like you're not gonna last. Like,
okay.
And you just end up going back to sleep. So, but I did hear that shit because I remember like, and I just went back to sleep.
No, bro, it's on it. It made me realize how like vulnerable you are. Yeah, because like
how
at my
mortal
house,
you are. Yeah,
at my house, like you don't have any like I don't know. A lot of houses in Texas have like what's it called? The
basement,
like an underground basement. Yeah,
yeah.
And I'm like, I kind of need one of those, bro.
Yeah.
Cause I thought I was dead, bro. Like it felt like it was like behind me, like cause it sounded like that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like that a little bit. Like if you've ever seen Twister, you've never been around a place with tornadoes. Like it really like does sound like that. It sounds kind of like, you know. So that's a thing. But since we're getting into spring weather, obviously that means that we're gonna be gigging in water, wind, and all this kind of freaky stuff. But I mean, it should be fun. I don't like hot weather going into the summer, but I like my wife. She enjoys spring because it starts getting like, you know.
That's what like spring.
It's tiempo that like garden and she likes that shit.
Well, she was out there right now.
Yeah, she's right now. I was like, "Oh, you working?" Like,
te tenían jalando. No, she was all like dirty.
She was out there like working, and I'm over here like setting up cameras. It's like we all have our thing, you know.
Yeah.
she likes to play it, you know. But yeah, it was it's getting to that. So yeah, so going into the show, obviously, we're getting back into the swing of things. We're still in the dead heat of slow season for some reason. I think we've been talking about this at like no, but it's not even just us. Like who was I talking to this week? I forgot. Yeah, well, yeah. Honestly, it doesn't matter who you talk to. Like everybody you talk to, hey, like what's going on la chamba, and everybody's like, no, dude, pues no hay nada. I think maybe it's because there's too many groups now. Maybe we need to put that agenda.
You think we're finally saturated?
Yeah, maybe we are really just a lot. Like the other day, I looked up on Facebook. You know how like we have like those little groups that people. It's like groups that like I'm like, what the hell? Like who's that?
Yeah.
I was like, and then some charros that you've never seen before, and you're like, all these people are like all new NPCs that like you haven't heard about, but they all apparently play. Like, and they all have a group and they put it together. And I'm like, okay, chingon. But I was like, but where are these people coming from? Like, then all of a sudden we have like all these groups, and now I'm starting to think like, oh, is that way that we don't have that much work because everybody is just oversaturated with groups? Maybe. I don't know. Like, do we need to have a Royal Rumble with all of them to see who's gonna be, you know, on top? Like,
yeah,
it might, you know, come down to that, you know. But I don't know. It's just something I've been looking at. And then, you know what I was thinking right after that? When I saw the picture, I was like, well, who are all these dudes? And then and my mind works like in a lot of different ways, right? But the first thing I thought was like, having a mariachi is hard.
Yeah.
Because like you have to not only like pick specific members and know how to play the specific instrument, that they know how to play the specific rep. You got to put it together. You got to have a place to go, like the places to go for the gigs. You got to have transportation. That you got to make sure that they're maintainable. You got to make sure that all these people are reliable. Like I just started to think about it. Like it's even more than like a rock band. Sometimes I feel like or something like that because like there's 8 or 9 guys that you have to like rely on for something, and that's the thing too. Like. That's why a lot of groups are like 4 guys now, 4 or 5 guys, because you can't trust anybody. So it's like, when I was looking at that picture, that's the first thing I thought. I was like, 1, you found all these dudes. And 2, you trust all of them? I was like, damn, like, That's wild.
Well, I mean, a lot of these like new groups. I mean, and new group and older groups too.
Yeah.
Like a lot of it, it's just kind of like a face, because when you see the actual group, it's like muchos son maromeros, or they're like other like freelancers. You know.
And that's how I feel whenever I see like people that I know. I'm like, I know you, and I'm like, and you're not in that group. You know what I mean? Or like, no que tú tienes tu propio grupo and stuff. So I'm just like, and then we talk about this where we show up in people's pictures because we went to Maromear that one time.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're on like this person's business card for like forever.
Who was it? I think you fucking outed me on the last one. Huh?
Yeah.
I have like I forgot what it was, but I remember like, I was like, God damn.
Yeah, you took pro pictures, like pro res in 4K, like
Fuck,
yeah. So I remember we have a group chat. So it's funny because it's like, you know, it's a group chat de los charros, you know, so it's just us. And then it's funny because you can't find, if you find anything on the guys, or like we share TikToks and stuff on there, some inappropriate things as well, like on there. And then they send this like 4K picture. I sent it. I was like, you know más? Like, who's this guy, you know? And then se lo mando, and it's like, Victor. I was like, I caught you red-handed, bro. In 4K, like, you got like the highest professional grade camera for this one picture.
I do wish I had. I didn't know they were gonna be like that.
What they tell you?
So they were they just told me like, hey, pues hazme el paro, because I want to take like this group picture, right? And I need a body to make it look a certain way.
And you were like doing the back tricep lat pull shit.
The lat spread. Like,
yeah, the lat spread thing.
Oh, what the fuck?
No, I turn around.
This is kind of weird.
Yeah. He's like, pants on or off. the camera guy's like, I'll think about it. You know? I was like, I like that the option is open. You know? But anyway, just get on all fours.
Yeah, and then what? What'd you say? Bitch.
And then
so they told I forgot what I was saying.
Yeah, well, yeah, like they said.
Yeah, they were like, you know, just show up and then whatever, and then you get like individual pictures. And like something that I'm very bad at, you're great at it, but I'm very bad at having memories, right? So like when we went to Albuquerque, if you see my post, it's just like pictures that you took or that Sarah took, and it's like a mountain or something from what I took.
Oh, so yeah, I see what you're saying.
I'm just very bad at like capturing the moment. You know? I'm more of like, I hate that I say like so much. I've been noticing that. I'm more of the type that like lives in the moment. So I'm like, this is pretty cool. And then Sammy's like, this is pretty cool, bro. You know? And so later, like you made like this badass post of like really cool pictures, and I'm like,
right.
Pues yo me encontré esta roca. You know, and like that's my
picture
post.
of a tree.
Yeah. And that's my post.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a good opportunity for me to have something where later I can be like, oh, yo antes era charro, you know, and I look like this. And I look like this. I played. Okay.
So you wanted like a bookmark of your life?
Yeah, like something that looks good. Okay. You know, like it's not just like
I respect it.
It's not just like a. Well, now there's better phones, but like a shitty, like, you know, like pixelated picture of me, zoomed in from like another picture.
It's funny because you see a lot of those like with those older charros or older people on Facebook. Like you can tell they don't take pictures.
Yeah,
that's like my dad. My dad does not take pictures. Like anytime we ask him for a picture, he's like, because I was like, damn, dude, you're gonna get mad at the camera. You know? But yeah, it's true. Like they don't have good pictures because they don't take good pictures. Yeah. So like it'll be like a screenshot. The profile picture is like a screenshot of like a phone, or it'll have like the border still where it says like the battery level and everything, and I'm just like, dude, come on, you're old enough to crop.
Right. Like, it's like them taking a picture of like another screen. Just like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, no, I see what you're saying though. Like, I tend to do the same thing too. Like me as a teacher too. Like when we're doing like performances and stuff, I have to like tell myself, take pictures, dumbass. You know, like because like. I'm so focused on are they playing what we practice and this and that and setting them up that like I never step back and I'm like, okay, well I need to take a picture of this like to remember it because like they're kids, you know, like
or like the other time too. Me and Froilan took out Dr. G to go to a baseball game.
Oh yeah, that was cute. Yeah. Oh yeah, we never talked about that.
Yeah. Well, here we are.
Yeah. What did you do?
Yeah. So Dr. G, our former.
Well, he was our music
teacher. Yeah,
in middle school.
Bitch, I'm getting there.
My bad. Shit. I was like, you tell it. My bad.
¿Qué te voy a decir?
Yeah, check him out.
So he's a Rangers fan, and
I don't know how big of a Rangers fan. Apparently,
bro, he was giving me the whole history. I was like,
yeah.
oh, you like, you like the Rangers.
Like, you're for real. Because it's funny because. So you invited him, right?
Yeah.
You're like, I'll take you out to the baseball game. So right there, he was like, "Oh, hell yeah!" Like, I'll go. Is that what he said?
Yeah. It was I contacted Froilan, which is another student of his, and I was like, well, I mean, it'd be cool to take him out to a game, you know. And it was Rangers versus Houston, the Astros.
Was it the Astros?
Yeah.
Game? Oh shit. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and he was like, yeah, no, let's go, and I remember thinking like, okay, don't forget to get a picture, you know, because it would be a nice memory. Like,
yeah,
like it was another goal of mine to like have more memories.
Yeah,
and the whole time it's like, damn, this is pretty cool. And we were talking, and then we're watching the game.
Yeah,
and until Froilan was like, hey, let's get a picture. I'm like, oh, de veras, güey, like, you know,
I still venía.
Yeah, and we took a picture, and I remember it was the Astros because they were on par, I think, like. Nobody was scoring.
It might have been like
and then the last inning, like they scored, and Dr. G was just like screaming. What? No, like the Rangers won.
Oh, he was happy. Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I don't remember, dude. Yeah. I was just happy to see you guys there. Like for the longest.
Yeah, because we went to go watch you guys too.
We were playing with the mariachi, so I had been telling this fool like all season, like, hey, wait, no quieres venir?
Yeah.
And you're all like,
I'm like, como chingas.
So, but it was cool, like that you had the thought, or like at least a gesture to be like, yeah, I want to take Dr. G out there, and then Froilan, and you made a post. I didn't realize that you kind of looked up to Froilan too.
Yeah,
like I didn't know you loved him or like that or anything.
Yeah, well, I mean, Froilan would show up here and there to like the middle school.
Yeah, I never knew that. So that was cool because he had put up a post and it had just said like two of these people that I wanted to take out because like. They made an impact, I guess, like in your musical journey. You know, yeah, that's cool. Like that's how I felt like seeing like obviously like Dr. G there. Like I remember the first time that we played, he showed up with his brother. Like, I was like, "There's more of y'all." Like, you know? He showed up with his brother, and like I said, he's my mariachi teacher from middle school. So I was like, hadn't seen him in a while. I know he had retired, and like he just magically like spawned. And you know how we play like on that little porch, you know, where the cameras are in. Like, literally, he just, like, showed up that first time. So I was like, it's funny what he told us. He was like, because you know how he talks, like, bien como animal. So he goes, they had told me the mariachis play over here. I didn't realize I knew all of you guys. I was like, I just wanted to come watch, you know, the game and watch the mariachi. But now that I saw that you guys, like, oh, wow, this is super cool. Like, I'm super proud of you guys. I was like, proud, bro. Like, fuck, you know.
Yeah, he was like, that looks like Mariela. He's like, oh, like, Sammy? Like, I think the only person he didn't recognize was, like, Fernando.
Yeah, Fernando on trumpet. Yeah, he was a student at the time too. It was just cool. No, yeah, I mean, obviously, like he made an impact on our lives. So I can only imagine because there too, I had told him. I guess somebody had told him that I was a teacher in high school, and a mariachi teacher.
Probably Froilan.
Probably, yeah. And he told them, and then it's the Dr. I guess I thought. I mean, I don't talk to him. He doesn't have Facebook or anything, and he told us and all that, and I. Afterwards, he tells us, he's like, hey, I hear you're a teacher. I was like, yeah. Like, I didn't know. He was like, that's cool. I had no idea. And I was like, oh, yeah, I get, yeah. So I've been teaching for like 4 years. He's like, oh, that's awesome. You can tell. He's like, I was like, you're doing great. He's like, I'm proud of you. I was like, proud of you. Like, he couldn't see because I was crying inside, you know? But I was just like, no. It was cool to have him there and stuff.
Yeah.
And then this summer, was it summer? No, this winter break. We went to his house, we went to his crib, and it was cool because like I knew that he had a house, you know, like. But it was cool. Is like it's cool to see like someone who is dedicated, basically. Well, he dedicated his whole life to like music, not just mariachi, but like when he was talking about how he got his PhD in Colombian music, and spent his time in Colombia and writing his whole dissertation on that and everything. I was like, damn, like. You walk into his library, and his library has just every single book that you can think of, like with Mexico. He has it organized. Yeah. Like he's like, this is all Mexican history. This is American history. This is mariachi history.
It was crazy because everything that I would talk about, right? I would be like, I think at some point I'd be like, well, like my first singer is Javier Solis, and he's like, hold up, and like he brought he had like 3 books of like his life, and I'm just like, damn, like. okay. And then at some point I was like, nah, like Los Sones Jarochos, they're so cool. And he's like,
Yeah.
"Están-"
Gotcha. Yeah.
And then like he came back with like a stack of like records,
Yeah.
And I'm just like, Eminem. He's like, oh no, I would have got
No, I
that.
don't He's like, actually, I got those in the back. No, but yeah, you're right. Like when we were there, like it didn't matter what you asked about. Like he had something to reference it about. Like when he was telling us the stuff about Jose Alfredo, where he was like, these are the albums where he's talking about his wife, he can sabe que. And these are the albums where he was talking about his mistress. And he was like pulling out all the albums, and he was all talking about like their families. He was talking about how he interviewed his wife, right, in Mexico. Like,
both of his wives.
Yeah, both of them. And then he when he went to the museum over there before it was like as popular as it is now, like he could just walk into like Jose Alfredo's crib.
Well, you couldn't even tell it was.
Yeah, that it was a museum.
Yeah.
He said he was looking around. He's like, I'm looking for the museum, and they were like, well, you in it, bro? Like it's right here. And he was like, oh, like he had no idea, you know. But yeah, it's crazy to hear like firsthand accounts on all these things that we only know about from like music or like getting a sheet of paper with quarter notes and this and that. But like there's so much story and history behind everything, and he dedicated his life to basically preserving that history. Like and showing us his library was obviously like any little thing. Like he was pulling out cancioneros. Yeah. I think that was like the coolest thing for me. Like we never realized how much like the music that we played, like it's gigging and it's just like playing, what people ask for. But there's a reason why people ask for it, or because it's so popular. Like there's so much mariachi music out there, but it's like out of all of those CDs, all of those A sides, B sides, and everything, it's like the standard set of songs that we play at a gig like come from those albums. But then there's always like those other like little trinkets that are in there that weren't as popular, but they were out there.
Bro, you know what? I found this video on YouTube that basically just depicted like the top song from that year in Mexico. From from the 50s to the early 2000s or 2000s. We can say that now, like 2000s.
See, the zeros?
Yeah.
The OOs? yeah. We lived it, man.
And I forgot who was telling this, but I was saying like in Dallas or like Metroplex, we're pretty well rounded. Because every song from that year that came up from each year, like they've asked for it here.
Oh, okay.
Amorcito Corazón, like Jalisco de Terrajes, like all these songs. I'm like, I knew most of the songs that came up,
right?
Because they've been asked for here.
Yeah.
And then like 2000s hit, and it's like Mana and like Dalia.
Yeah, it started coming up.
Like it's just such a big switch up.
Yeah. It's it's the same reason why mariachi's not the most popular music in Mexico. I mean, like we have different gustos, going into the 2000s. Now we're either
emo or fresas.
What? Mexicans?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because I love it's Mana, which is like rock.
No, but now? No.
Oh, I don't know about now.
Now it's puro cub music.
Well, that's what I'm saying until like that point. I forgot how far he went.
Bélicos. Yeah, that's it. I don't really know. But what I found really interesting from those cancioneros were like that they're like literally books with lyrics.
Yeah.
And like I never thought about that. Like well, I guess I have, but like to see it in front of you, like it was funny because Dr. G's like, oh, like check this out. That's all he would do, right?
Yeah.
He's like, check this out. And he would just like pull out like freaking the Holy Grail. He's just like, oh, check this out. Yeah, I own this. So, and then he pulls out these cancioneros to me while you're looking up like some jarocho history.
I think it was during the Javier Solis ones.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about the part behind his desk?
No. Yeah. I remember he was showing like jarocho stuff, but like you were like, oh, I know that song because Ivan. You've been working with
you're
Ivan.
thinking of Vino Tinto. Es un pasillo. It's like, well, he said it's Cuban, but they taught it to me as un joropo. So,
but what I'm saying is he was talking about that. Well, while he was talking about that,
it was part of his dissertation.
Maybe
because you opened it and I saw the title like Vino Tinto.
Yeah,
and I was like, I know this song, and I specifically remember him being like, yeah, okay,
oh, that was a cool moment, right? Because it was like some song that he's like, yeah, I've only heard it in Colombia, wherever, right? And then we kind of had we brought our instruments. Like, it was my vihuela and he brought his harp, and like it was cool. Like I've always just played like whatever Dr. G like gave us when we were kids, but like to actually like he would be sitting at the front of the classroom, and just like teaching us or whatever. But I never actually like played with him, So I was just sitting there with my vihuela. I was like, pues cuál quiere? We only jammed like 3 songs, right? Everything after that was just him like. Just talking, and then he would get into this tangent about like history of this and that, and then like you started playing that. What is it called?
It's called Vino Tinto. Yeah.
Okay, and then you were like, yeah, I learned this with Ivan. Y quién sabe qué. And you started playing it. They're like, yeah, it goes like this, and you're like, dun, 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 dun. And then it's the Dr. G's like, I've never heard it like on harp other than like when we were in Colombia or something.
Yeah.
Like that. And he was like, that's really cool. I think he like had like a damn, that's cool.
Well, it's because he said he thought like, you know, like Vino Tinto is like red wine. Like who wouldn't make a song called like that, or like be more common? I guess.
Right.
It's not. Like, but he was basically kind of like he wasn't being mean, but in his head he was like, yeah, right, like
yeah,
you know,
he's like, you don't know what I know.
Yeah, like this is something from Colombia, bro. You can't even go back to your country. Like, come on, no, I was just kidding. But you know, I was just thinking like this is a very like rare song for him to like know.
It's not very well known.
Yeah,
you know, so it's like when you're over here saying like, yeah, I got it.
Yeah,
he's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because it was also cool because it was in his dissertation. So like he wrote out like all the parts that like he would see like the guys play there. And yeah, when we finally took out our instruments, I was like, "Is this the song you're talking about?" And I was playing it. He was like, like he had this look when I looked at him. He's like, how'd you know that song? You know,
who do you know? Who do you know? Like, what do you think you know?
Yeah.
I like that. But he did have kind of like a moment like, oh, okay. I was like, all right, you may know some flashy tricks. I was like, but I haven't taught you everything I know. Like, you know. But yeah, we jammed to a couple of songs, and we spent what?
Bro, we stayed there the whole day.
We stayed there all day.
I think we got there like 10 or 11 a.m.
And we ate lunch. Like we ate lunch like together, and then we ended up taking out of there like la tarde, dude. Like, and that reminds me too. Like the first time we met up with them, we went to
Benito's.
I hadn't realized that he had been playing there like 30 years.
Yeah.
Like when he was telling us that, he's like, yeah, I used to play in this restaurant, like in that little corner over there. You can say kid before Magnolia became Magnolia, which is like this place in Fort Worth that like now it's like all gentrified, but back then it was just like he said a lot of college students would go in there and stuff.
Yeah.
But like that whole side of the street or whatever wasn't what it is today now. But he's like, yeah, I played here for like 30 years, and I would always order the same stuff. And he told us what to eat, bro. Like we got there for like at 1 o'clock lunch or something like that. We didn't leave till like 8-9 p.m. Like we stayed there 8 hours. 8 hours talking to this guy, and he was just like, and like, I was never bored. Like we were just there. Like we were just like, oh, it's nighttime. Like you know, and you know, but like for him to have that much plática, I was like, dude, like, es que a él no se la acaba, you know, like he has a story about this or information about this.
Talk about,
like Fort Worth history, like his personal life of coming from Connecticut and everything. So it was cool because it was like we kind of got to see, I got to see like at least like a side of Dr. G that I had never really seen, even like seeing his crib. Like I said, like it was cool. But yeah, like just the fact that he has all this information like on hand, like ready to go.
It did trip me out that I never saw him as a guy that watched movies, but he has this whole wall of like DVDs.
Wall of movies and DVDs. Yeah,
I'm just like Die Hard.
Yeah,
like
you were watching this.
Yeah.
No, it was cool. Like you know, just seeing everything that was on there. And like I said, and then it was cool too because he had given us or he had shown us like all the different times he had been featured like in the newspaper, local newspaper, and it was cool because after that. I went to Papacitos where he played there again for many, many years, you know, as just like a solo mariachi going around table to table, pues taloneando, basically. And after we were done, me and my wife, like we were going to leave or whatever, and they had that same paper like framed up like on the way out. And I remember being like, oh, that's the newspaper we saw in his house. Like, I was like, that's cool. Like, they're like honoring the fact that he did play there that long. And because I think it was like, El Maestro Mariachi or something like that. There's like this whole article that just talks about like his upbringing and how he ended up in that position in Fort Worth ISD.
Yeah.
And it's cool. It was cool to like see that like obviously he made an impact not just like in a restaurant but like in parts of Fort Worth and a lot of countless kids. Like what was cool is I don't know if you read the article. Yeah. Like I read the article and like it was really like inspiring to see like where kids were becoming lawyers and all that, and all they could do is talk about like how they were in that middle school mariachi program because it was like that was like the same program we were in, like, and yeah, obviously I'm not a lawyer, so I'm like, damn, like there's people out here being lawyers, like, but like at least like you know it was cool to like see them come out and I guess going back to that, like you guys going out to the game, and it's a little surreal because I think that's the day that we played Stevie Ray Vaughan. because we had the electric guitar that day.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. I remember
So
that.
we put together that little potpourri with this Mi Ranchito and Steve Ray Vaughan's Pride and Joy. Pride and Joy. That's I was trying to think of the name. So it's funny because like Dr. G's like, yeah, we're gonna watch some quality mariachi music, and it's like, like sale con una guitarra. So I'm like, yeah, it's because we're trying to change.
I was like, I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Like, you get on mariachi, güey.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, man. The whole point of the mariachi thing here at the Rangers is I'm trying to like, I have to keep in mind that not everybody there knows what a mariachi is. So I have to like, I throw the mariachi and then I throw something that's more contemporary to kind of like fuse stuff. That's kind of my deal with that because I mean, think about it. You go to watch a baseball game, you're like mariachis. You're like, what the hell? You know, like that's not really a thing that you necessarily see there. So, but it was funny. Like I had my mariachi teacher there. He's like, "No quieren mariachis." Like,
Yeah, I taught you nothing.
I taught you nothing. Yeah. No, yeah, but it was cool. It's cool to see you guys out there, and shout out to Froylan too. I remember too, like Froylan was like I guess he was like a senior when I was a freshman or something like that. I don't remember anymore. Yeah, he was like a little bit older than us. But yeah, obviously he was really good in classical guitar and stuff like that. But,
Yeah,
yeah, but super cool, super cool. We put out a topic out there just to kind of see what you guys wanted to talk about. We've had like obviously long gigs before, and like just recently we had a gig with Don Victor, who is a new client for us that lately like he's really into like just asking all of this music that like he has lists and he gives us the list and he's like, I want this. And that I remember that gig, era 3 horas, right? We played the list and it lasted 3 hours. Like we're just going one by one by one. Like the clients weren't asking for anything because we were just going straight off the list.
What was funny about that gig was that we had a list and Arturo told the clients, I mean, we have a list, but if you guys want
to hear something,
another song, let us know. But they were just kind of like watching, and Arturo, pues están haciendo ambiente and everything. But as soon as the list ended, people were like, they just started asking for all these songs. Like it felt like they were just like, come on, like, la lista, güey. Like,
please, bro.
And as soon as we ended, we're like, pues ya se nos acabó la lista. And like, cuando salga Luna. Like,
yeah, they just started like calling out shit. Yeah. So then it took those 3 hours, but then it ended up being the last hour of puras pedidas.
Yeah.
They added another hour because they were like, oh, you guys can stay. And honestly, I just tenía poquito sueño. Ya quería mi mimis. You know, I was tired. So that by the end of the last hour, like I was feeling like, damn, is this shit really worth it, bro? I'm just like,
it is for me.
Yeah, but I'm just like, I don't know, body wise. I remember I was kind of crashing out towards the end. So that gave me the idea of like, well, what's the longest gig I guess that you guys have had? You know, this person said obviously started off as 2 hours and ended up going 4 more. Was 3 a.m. and clients still wanted more.
That's a dream, bro.
Well, see if you want, you know, that extra cash. I mean, unless that's the thing though. When you're not the boss, you don't necessarily know how much you're gonna end up making from those hours. You know what I mean? Something similar. Tú que maromeas, güey. How's that experience been for you?
Oh, you wanna do that, bro?
You said
you wanna. Okay.
Okay.
I will admit it. You know, I know who for the most part to work with, right? Because I have done this. Yeah. Like I think you've been more established. Like when you like gig, like you're usually with a group, right? Well, like when you're here, you're with Allende. Oh, yeah. It's not just about that. But when you're here, you're with Allende, and when you're in Texas State, you were with was it Amor?
Oh yeah, well, when I was in Texas State, I didn't have a set group because nobody wanted me. So, but I mean, when I would cuando si me pegaba con alguien, ahí me quedaba. Like I wasn't really looking for a lot of gigs like that because no salían. So I would just like if I found one, I would just latch onto them. I'm like,
yeah,
ya te agarré, güey.
Yeah, you know. So I didn't have that luxury, you know. When I started with Allende, Arturo fired me. So I was on my own, you know. I was like little Bambi, just out there, like. I was doing this for a reason. I forgot what I was talking about. Yeah, so I've told you before. Like there was a thing at Seafood I told you about because we had someone help us out, right? And he's like an OG, and he was kind of like playing whatever he wanted, right? You remember what I'm talking about, right? And I remember telling you like, no, es que tú no sabes a mí, like cuando like en la maroma way, like it's like a jungle, right?
Oh
'Cause,
yeah, I
like,
remember now. Yeah. That like they. Oh, because I was telling you, I was like, damn, like they're not even like working with like our violinists. Like
Yeah.
they're just kind of doing their own thing.
Yeah,
So that's when you said that, like, they don't do, like, they're savage out here. Like they just kind of
yeah.
do their
Like
own thing.
aquí son salvajes, you know. Like
Yeah.
es una jungla where everybody's for themselves, you know.
So I started saying like, well, damn, how bad is it? Like I started getting scared. I was like, what do you mean? What happens out
I mean,
there?
I'm obviously kidding, but I mean, there are
Not kidding.
some groups that you play with, and it's a little kind of like either they can be a little like mean, right?
Uh-huh.
They're like they see you as a kid, and they're like, "This motherfucker taking my chivo," you know.
Yeah, I've
Like, no te la sabes, cabrón, you know, and you kind of like,
yeah.
and there's others that like they're very nice, pero si te chingan, so like you know, like they're like, oh, muchas gracias, you know, you helped us out
Mm.
for 10 hours, 50 varos, muchas gracias, you know, and you're like.
¿Y ya qué? ¿Ya
Yeah.
qué puedes decir? Yeah.
So something like that happened to me last year.
Technically last year.
It was very painful. Right? Just like trying to remember the trauma.
The trauma. You're about to trauma dump on all of us, bro. Shit.
No. Bueno, I mean, yeah, I thought I knew who to work with. For the most part, I do. You know, cuando me romeo, I ask certain people, like, I'm free, I'm available. And they're like, we don't care. But someone invited me. I'm not going to say names, but someone invited me to
Do a gig.
do a gig, right? On Christmas Eve, right?
You, like
And-
going into Christmas.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, I do need money, and I said okay, which he that should have been a red flag because he got me. He was like, can you do 6 hours, right? Which
Shit.
I'm like, chingon, 6 hours. It's like,
with to start off, like it was a 6-hour gig.
yeah, 6 hours. I'm like,
Shit,
no,
bro.
sí, suena bien. It's like, okay, it's in Waco, and I was like, puta madre. Like,
Waco, for
which
those
you
who don't
can-
know,
yeah,
it's like
from Fort Worth is like hour and a half.
hour and a half, like to get to Waco. Yeah, más o
Yeah.
menos. No
Yeah.
traffic.
Yeah, so it's like, all right, it's in Waco. Estamos a las 9, right?
Mhm.
So now I'm like, a las 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. A la verga, you know? Like,
You're
yeah,
like, wait.
I thought you said, like, I thought it was going to be like, 6 hours, you know, like start at 5 p.m. you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
aquí afuera. No, güey, like,
In Waco.
and, fuck, this is so much to tell. Yeah.
Damn, I kind of unloaded that
Yeah,
on you.
bro, like, I'm gonna use that as if I forget something because I've told you about this. I've told you
I
about
remember
this
like
before.
parts of it. I wasn't there, so I don't have like your POV. You know, so I'm here for the ride.
So, there's a mini spot. I mean, I guess that's a plus. I didn't have to drive all the way over there, so I met them at some place in Arlington, and on the way there, I'm just like, God damn, man, it's not any modo, you know. Like,
Was that tarde, right? 'Cause you said
Yeah.
it starts at 9.
yeah, I think we
Did you
met
get on
like
time? Did you get there on time?
I don't know.
Just start on time.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
okay.
we did.
Okay.
And I was going on harp too, and we're heading over there. We got there, and they were telling us, or like people that were, because also it's era una bola. Like it wasn't like a. I think the actual group is like 8 people. Y éramos como 12.
Oh,
Like
damn.
it was
this is
a
big
full group.
I didn't realize that. I don't remember that. You saying that? That
Yeah, it
big
was a
group?
full group. Or a fuller group from what I could be making up numbers, but compared to the original group, it was a lot bigger.
Mhm.
And we get there, and it's son las 9, bro. Like it's night, and I'm like, we're gonna do 6 hours right now. Ya tengo sueño, güey. You know,
Like, ya me chingué el mozo and I'm still sleepy. You know?
yeah.
No, I've had that before.
On
yeah.
Christmas Eve too, you know, which is a day where you're usually with your family or
Yeah.
a loved one, or you
Uno
know,
que es chambeador. Agarra
Sí,
cuando,
sí,
cuando
uno-
necesite.
uno
yeah.
que es pobre, o sea, aquí andaba. And we're playing. El cliente era como mareador, but apparently he knows the boss, and they do this every year. But
It's
el
like a yearly
cliente
gig.
was kind of like,
Is he a dick or what?
he was kind of a dick. Cause he would kind of like talk shit, but he would get onto me too. He was like, "A ver el arpa, a ver si que toque algo, like, pues, a ver si paso está aquí." Yeah, and I'm like, "Pues cuál quiere," you know. And we play songs that involve harp, and as time went by, the boss told us around the like 3rd, 4th hour, the boss told us like, we'll take a break. Around the 5th hour, comemos y algo y le echamos otra vez. Okay. Y llegamos como we got to the 6th hour y nada, like.
Oh, so you skip lunch?
Yeah.
Fuck.
We skipped second lunch.
So you can't do that. You can't skip.
I mean, we're like whatever. Like I think since it's 6 hours, I mean, might as well finish them, right?
Yeah.
And the client was like, "Pues otra hora, no?" I'm like, all right, whatever. We're also kind of like drinking and stuff.
What time is it?
It had to be like 1 or 2.
Okay.
I think. No, wait. It's hard to remember that gig, man. Not because I was drinking.
You were just.
I'm getting there, huh? But yeah, we were playing, and the more we're playing, like, you know, you can see we're getting a little tired. Like some of the singers are getting kind of like raspy voices. One of our violinists, like, he got sick. He started having like a fever, like mid gig. You know, he was kind of like out for a bit.
It was like Hunger Games. Dropping like flies and shit. Yeah.
And then the clients eventually, like, from the whole party, it was like a family party. Like las esposas, las hijas, like they left. She's like the guy. It turned into like a guy thing at the end.
Puro hombre al final. Like when it should be Christmas time.
Yeah.
When it should be like you around your family. You're telling me that so that they have that Mexican thing where it's like son las 12 like Feliz Navidad. You know?
Yeah, they do.
And they just have that.
Yeah.
And after that, it just goes back to
it's like slowly talks here and there, and then you see like some people go inside, or some people leave. You know.
Yeah.
And yeah, like the time is passing. It's like 3 in the morning. We're a little tired, and these people are asking for like rap. Like they're asking for like songs where like we had some of the OGs be like, oh shit, like.
So no Cielito Lindo, La Bamba.
No, they were asking like
Twist and Shout.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember they asked for like El Boxeador, and they asked for like which is, they're not hard songs obviously, but it's they're like, you're not gonna remember them because they're not typical, you know. Like when they asked Arriba Jalisco, you're like, I've heard it, you know. But and then
I mean, I'll do it.
Yeah. No, we did.
Yeah.
And even the client was like, oye, pero no suena muy bien, o sea. You know,
what you want us to do,
which is
bro?
A little shitty. Yeah,
like, that's the thing, man.
Like, you're the first person to ask for it. Like, I've heard it.
Yeah.
You know, but like, I haven't played it.
Yeah.
And I'm on harp, so it's on you guys.
I'm on harp. Yo hermano hecho pinche mamada y media, güey. Tú échale trumpets, violins. Dos, tres. You start telling them what to do.
No, and yeah, the clients were getting like nefastos. It was just very. Every time he looked at me, he's like, no te hacen nada, güey. Like, échale algo, you know. Like, or he was telling me, like, ¿cuánto puede dar o sea, para dormir a mi niña? And I'm like, yo te duermo a ti, cabrón.
Yeah, you don't even know the complexities of this harp that I'm putting in. I was like, the inversions. Yeah. I was like, the accidentals que le estoy echando. Like, ¿sabes qué? Puro pinche. Tan, 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 tan.
No, and what was funny, at one point, one of the guys was like, he looked like a little like ratilla. Like he had this look on his face where it's like, he looked like fucking Wormtail from Harry Potter.
Oh, medio feito, güey.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I seen.
Pero andaba, no, I'm just pero andaba así, you know, like echando desmadre. Like we had a girl in the group who he was kind of like hitting on for a little bit, and he had to calm down because he was getting a little too much.
Getting too much. Yeah.
And I remember specifically, like, he was talking with one of the other clients, like, they were drinking, right? I just remember, like, the guy, like, talking, right? And then he said something, and the guy was just like, and, like, como que lo agarró de la camisa, right?
Oh, he said como que they got, like mad at each other, right?
They started, like, arguing, and, like, lo tenía agarrado, bro. It was funny because, I mean, the guy was a lot taller, and this guy is, like, chiquito y feo, o sea. lo tenía como agarrado, and he was just kind of like, oh, la verga, like,
release me.
Yeah, yeah, like, release me. And Chivato.
Release me.
Yeah, bro. And then people were like, "Hey, calmaos, you know, no pasa nada." And the guy just like he runs away. But that's why I say he looks like a ratilla, because like
He skedaddled
as soon
out
as
of
yeah, bro, he's fucking skedaddling. He was looking back. He was like, you know, like those kids que hacen una maldad and then they run away.
Or the
They're like
Skeletor.
yeah.
He runs away.
And then what was funny too was that él también buscaba el pleito, because the guy was like talking with some other people and like he was getting like a drink, and he came back and he told him something. Y lo agarró otra vez, right?
vez?
Pero
Oh,
like you just hear like the fucking like.
Oh
like,
shit, he
he's-
clocked him? I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Oh damn,
like-
he actually clocked him?
Se lo sonó, and then it separated him again, and he was kind of like, oh, la verga, you know.
Yeah, I love when Mexicans fight, bro.
And then that got funny because he was like, no, ya me voy. Like
you
he
have
kind of
to-
like se sintió.
He's like, no, ustedes no juegan bonito, güey. O sea, es culero, güey.
And that shit was funny, right? Because he was like, no, ya me voy. He's like, ¿cómo te vas a ir? Pues a mi casa. ¿Pero cómo? He's like, pues caminando. He's like, pero yo te traje, cabrón. Like,
Like, tú vives in Arkansas, güey. What the fuck?
No, what was funny, bro, was like, yeah, he came with another guy, right? And then
Sus.
he was like, no, ya me voy. And he's like, ¿te vas a ir de veras? Like the other guy that brought him.
Yeah.
It's like, ¿te vas a ir? ¿En serio? It's like,
Mhm.
sí, ya me voy. It's like, bueno. And he started walking away,
Mhm.
right? And then he looked back. He's like, ¿en serio me vas a dejar ir? Like,
Toxic ass
What-
motherfucker.
yeah, like,
Goddamn.
what you want, bro? Like, you were like,
Shit, man.
chingue, ya me voy, you know?
Sí, güey, yeah.
And then, he had a bottle with him too. He was like, nah, me voy. And then he grabbed one of the bottles and he was like,
Esta es mía, yo me la traje, güey.
well, no, the client got him. Te digo, ese señor andaba en todo.
Yeah.
And he was like, ¿dónde vas con la botella? Ah, pues me la voy a llevar. It's like, pero esa yo la traje, es para la fiesta. And he's like, bueno, si quieres la dijo, no, llévatela, pero nomás te digo, o sea, like, he
Yeah.
was basically like, I saw you, bro. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like,
Where we see you in your rat ways.
Yeah.
You know, like, just letting you know.
that guy was a character, man. But that shit just took me out. He was just walking, ya me voy. He's like, ¿en serio te vas a ir? Sí, ya me voy. ¿En serio me vas a dejar ir? You know, like,
I cannot believe this.
yeah.
How can you let me do something like that? ¿Me miras cómo estoy?
Yeah, bro. He was like, estoy en pedo, güey. No.
¿Vas a dejar así? He's like, I can't believe nobody cares about me. It's a party. He's like, yeah, mi cumpleaños, güey. Es culero, güey.
You're uninvited to my
Sweet
party.
16. Yeah.
And so,
Shit,
bro, it was like 3 or 4 in the morning now. And every time the hour ended, he'd be like, no, pues échense otra
It's
hora.
otra. Yeah.
Right? And
Rough, man.
and we're kind of looking at the boss like, vamos a comer o algo, you know?
Are you going to continue to allow this?
Which I feel like, you know,
Need
like as a
HIPAA.
boss, you have to know, like, people are under
Spell?
your wing, I guess. I don't know.
No, they're
Like-
under your watch as a boss. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, I see what you mean. Like, you gotta have some compassion.
Yeah.
Like, I see mis compañeros. Like, look, I'm like, look at him. I was like, don't, you just see them all.
Sí,
just
güey.
like this. Like, look at them. Like, les doy una soda, algo,
Yeah, bro.
un tamal. You know,
Bro,
it's Christmas prime,
to
bro.
the-
Fucking unwrap
yeah.
it that way. You know.
That's what I'm saying. So like to
Yeah.
the point where like I told you one of our violinists got sick. He was getting like some type of fever.
Yeah.
So he had to sit down to the point where the client, who was being like a little,
Bish.
yeah, he was being a bitch to us.
Yeah.
He was looking at him. He's like, oye, like, no quiere medicina o algo? Like,
Mhm.
I can bring him something if you
Yeah.
want, you know? Porque el vato, he's just sitting there like todo like desganado.
Yeah.
Because obviously he feels bad
Mm-hmm.
or he doesn't feel well. And the guy's just like, no, pues es que a mí no me dijo, you know? Like, you don't have to tell him, bro. Like, he looks like
Look
shit.
at him. He looks like a fucking Walking Dead zombie. Can you help him, please, bro?
Yeah, bro.
Nah, that's wrong.
And the time kept passing, and the guy kept asking for more work and to the point it got to like what time did we finish? It was like 7 or 8 in the morning, bro. We started at 9 or 8. Point is,
9. You said 9.
yeah, we started at 9 and we ended at 8.
Yeah.
There was a point where I was, you know, we were playing, and I looked to the side, bro, and you see like the sun just fucking come up like fucking Lion King,
Yeah.
and I'm like, no fucking way, bro. like,
I know that ain't what I think it is. Like, just solazo.
you see, like,
Fuck.
and then
They're like, damn, y'all still out here? Ya verán culeros, yeah, shit.
Váyanse a la casa, no.
Sí, güey.
And I'm like, nah, and sure enough, it was always like that. There's a joke that the Mike used to say, where eran dos borrachitos, and they would look up at the moon.
Oh yeah.
And we're like, compadre, like, es el sol o la luna. It's like, no sé, compadre, you know. That's how I felt. I was like, es el sol o la luna, güey, you know. Like, we're just looking straight up and like burning our redness.
And then it like turns to me, the camera, and I'm like,
See, güey.
todo dormido, güey.
See, güey, like you're over there, like it's Christmas, like that perfect, like
It's Christmas.
Yeah.
todos los niños from the party, they're like, it's Christmas. Like, you guys are all fucking out with dollars. They're like, fuck you, kid. Goddamn.
No, yeah, and at no point did we ever get a break. We kept getting like alcohol, which I stopped drinking because I was like, this is kind of stupid. You know, like I was getting more upset.
It's like, because I feel like the alcohol, if anything, would just like, I've had that before where like they give me a shot. I'm like, dude, I need a shot or something just to take the edge off.
Yeah.
Like, because right now I'm too like locked in on this being like painful for me.
Yeah.
Like I need something to let me forget, you know?
Yeah.
But now I see what you're saying though. It's like, no, I should not be taking a shot at
Yeah.
5, 6 in the morning, bro. Like neither should you. Like think about your
Yeah.
health at that point.
See,
you know?
And te digo, like they weren't asking for easy rep the whole night. They were asking for like those corridos where people were like, no, pues como sale. And then
You gotta
imagine
figure it out.
having to figure it out,
Yeah.
like with no sleep, right? It's like 7 in the morning and you're like, ¿qué estás haciendo? You know, like se te va
Yeah,
todo de
yeah,
volada
yeah.
because you have no fucking
Well, you told me
vocals.
that like you could see that the guitarrón player or like
Yeah.
the viola player, like they'll be playing and they'll just be like bum bum bum.
Yeah,
bum,
like he was dozing off as he was playing.
yeah.
The drummer player was kind of like laying on the table a little too much. He was
Yeah.
like, he told the boss like, hey, ya estamos cansados. Like we
Yeah.
can't keep doing this. And he was like, no, sí, verdad, no, bueno.
And it's like,
Yeah, bro. I don't know. I felt like one of the guys even told me, it's like, wait, creo que va a haber un Uber, güey, porque no mames. Like,
yeah, dude, it's like
you know?
this is bad.
This is
bad for my
how
health.
bad it got at the last hour. So yeah, the guitar player kept like dozing off mid song, which is very very crazy to do. You know,
Yeah.
The viola player went to the restroom. He didn't come back for like 30 minutes because later we found out he fell asleep on the toilet.
Hell yeah.
Right.
Uno de los míos, el cabrón.
One of the trumpet players was gonna go outside to like pee, I think,
Yeah.
because the restroom was busy.
Occupied. Yeah.
But like as he was heading out, like he was just hitting shit. Like he was walking out and he hit the wall, and then like he was hitting he was just like stumbling todo menso.
Damn.
There was one guy. I'll say his name because I have respect for him. Let's say Ivan,
Mhm.
who I don't know his last name, but that guy
Camarada,
that guy was a trooper, bro. Like
Yeah.
he was singing till the end of that whole gig, and he was playing. Tenía un chingo de ánimo because at towards the end, a lot of people were sitting down.
Yeah.
And like a lot of people were just kind of like
Damn.
not playing, or like the guy that was sick just went to the van to like sleep it off.
Yeah.
And then, okay, you tell me, bro. I'ma disclose my personal information because I want to know your thought. I think I've told you, but just
Yeah,
in
what's
case
your
in case you
social?
forgot. But we didn't get paid right away. But like as I think when I picked up my payment for 11 hours,
11 hours.
right in
Mhm.
Waco,
Yeah, which is a farther gig.
a far away
Yeah.
gig. On Christmas Eve,
Mhm.
I got paid $770 for that whole job. Okay, if we do the math, what's 770 divided by 11?
You lost me at math, bro. 770
That's $70 an hour.
So he paid you like the going rate. Maybe. Actually,
I say it's a little low.
less than
for
the going
today.
rate here in Fort Worth right
Yeah.
now. Yeah. Rough.
So you tell me, bro, what you think?
I think you got scammed. Like, I mean, I remember when you told me, because I think you asked me because you told me this story and you were like, "Hey, how much do you think I got paid?" I was like, "Okay, well, I mean, it's in Waco. Like, pues ponle 100, and you guys played 11 hours." I was like, "At least 1,000?" I was like, "At least 1,000?" I was like, "Maybe even more." And you're like, "What do you think?" I was like, "Less? I mean, more?" And I was like, "Chingón, güey."
Like, damn, he hiring?
Yeah, I was like, yeah, mame, pa, who's your plug, you know?
Sí,
But
güey.
no, you told me that, and I was like, damn, man, like, I mean, what did he take out for? Like, the vibes? Like, what did he take out for? Like, los micrófonos? Like, You know, like I think at that point when I was like looking at it, yeah, like $70 per hour. But like it's more like the inconvenience of like, dude, it's Christmas Day. Like you have to understand that these people, yeah, like you, like they chose to go out there, like to go gig. Pero se supone que you went out there because you went with the intention of like, yeah, I'm working on Christmas, but it'll be worth it.
Yeah.
So like when you told me that, I was like, nah, mames, dude. For that, you could have just like, I don't know, shown some leg over there at Harry Hines and made the same amount for less time.
Way. Like,
Yeah, like at that point, like, yeah, you got the $700, but it's like, was it worth it? Like la desvelada, para irse hasta allá, you know, like el desmadre lo que era, los clientes que eran culeros, like was it really worth all that? Like, no.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
And like I had worked with this guy before, and he's paid him better.
Yeah.
You know, so I thought, okay, it's gonna be worth it,
right?
Because, I told my mom like, "Oh, voy a trabajar."
Yeah.
Yeah, and she was like, "No, vaya, it's Christmas.
Yeah, it's
like,
Christmas.
You spend it like here." And me thinking it was be a good investment. I'm like, no, pues voy a ir, you know.
Well, you gotta. I'm gonna pay off the house. I was like, to pagar todos los carros. I was like, you thought like you would be coming back with like,
and I have, and I blame this guy a lot because there's so much stuff that he could have done to like make it more doable for us, you know.
No, yeah.
Because I mean, if he was going for money, you know, like. If he had given us a break somewhere in the middle of that where we could sleep at least an hour and like eat something, I'll say, or me personally, like I would have played more than the 11 hours.
Right.
But me at the 11th hour, I was like, I was like, fucking, ¿cómo se llama? Motherboard? Motherboard?
Motherboard?
See you?
I forgot about that shit. Yeah. If you ever seen Cyber Chase, La Motherboard, you know, the one they talk to, she's like,
because one night I saw Square.
Yeah, we forgot we were talking about that. Yeah, cuando andas bien motherboard, you need some help.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. So like that's why like when you were telling me that story, I was like, damn, bro, like I didn't believe you at first. I was like, nah, there's no way.
Well, it felt like a joke to me too because he didn't pay us right away because he had to deal with the clients. And when I finally met him somewhere, it was even hard to meet him somewhere because he was just so like, hey, I can meet you halfway here. He's like, no, es que tengo mi familia. Me vale verga tu familia.
I was like, I got shit too.
They're not walking, you know, like you're driving, bro.
Yeah.
And he paid me, and he was like, son 770, muchas gracias, you know. And I'm like,
wait, you're like doing the math in your head, like in the Hangover? Yeah.
Because I thought, like, nah, he's joking.
Yeah.
You know, like, nah. And then he's like, bueno, pues I nos para la próxima, you know? Yeah. And I'm like, and then, like, going home, I was like, oh, maybe because I play harp and I'm like, no canto, I don't really sing. I pretend to do coros, you know? Like, if you see me in videos, like, I'll be mouthing words.
Whoa.
So, like, maybe, I mean, I just got paid, like, a little less. And then I made the math.
Yeah,
and I'm like, bro, this isn't even worth it for me, you know. Like if that's what your rubric is. And I've talked to other of the guys that got paid too, and some got paid less, and some did get paid more than me.
Yeah,
but it's nowhere close to like what they deserved, you know, or all of us as a group, a team, like it wasn't worth it for like anybody to
I still to this day think like if I'm gonna be playing all night, like where the fact that like I wake up with the sun, like then I think at that point I think it'd be different like if it was my group, because maybe I'd have some level of understanding. I'd be like, okay, well there's probably a reason behind this. But like if this guy was looking for you guys specifically, like to put this group together, you guys are kind of doing him the favor, like in a way.
Yeah.
Because like think about it, who's gonna go out there? Oh, it's gonna be a 3-hour gig or 4-hour gig, or 6 hours, right?
Yeah.
6 hours, pero se va a hacer como hasta las 7, 8 de la mañana.
Yeah.
Like, then like if you told me at the beginning, I'd be like, nah, I'd rather just stay here with my family, which I love. You know, like that. Esto se me hace que me conviene más.
Yeah.
You know? But like if you throw it to me like that, I'm like, nah.
Yeah, bro. Yes,
I think I'm good, bro.
Sí me dio pena, güey. Like, whenever... Because I think that next time I see Richard, somehow all of you guys knew that I was out there, like, playing. Because I never, like...
Pouring around, yeah.
Because Don Luis me comes like, no, ¿cómo le fue? Like, nada de bien lleno de dinero, quién sabe qué. And I'm like, hey...
pues, ¿qué cree?
Yeah.
You're like, I put it all in crypto.
I
So
was
I should be a millionaire.
I wasn't gonna say anything, bro. Like I was like, sí, sí me dio un chingo de pena. Like I can't believe at my age me camañaron, güey. You know, like I'm like, this is my fault, bro.
Yeah.
Like you're just like
It's
the
like
victim.
I felt 15 all over again,
Yeah,
man.
bro.
Fuck.
But I want you now it's like, don't scare, bro. Like how what you think about this? And you're like, ándale por pendejo,
Yeah.
Vayas a trabajar.
Damn, man.
But
That would
yeah.
take me back. I'd be like, damn, I'm really 15. I was like, and then you start thinking like a 15-year-old. You're like, nah, but like you're saying right now, it's like, nah, it's because I play harp. Le estoy echando ganas. Like, knows mi grupo. Like you just got gaslighted.
Yeah.
You got gaslighted into thinking that you deserve that
I
pay.
deserve this.
Yeah, it's your fault that you didn't get paid
Yeah.
more than that. I was like,
Like,
you
maybe
should-
I should start singing.
next time you should think about how better you could have done. You know, I just gaslit you just like that guy did. So it makes sense though. Now that come to think about it, is your fault, bro. I was like, you shouldn't have done that. Right? Nah, man, it's just like those gigs, man. Like, especially when you told me that, I was like, and that's why like it made me think of this topic. I was like, just gigs that never end. Because I told you, like, it's all where you say like, he's like, oh yeah, we'll do the 6 hours, and after that we'll have like a little luncheon. You guys will like rest up a little bit, and then like we'll go. Because honestly, that's a refuel for me.
Yeah.
I've had gigs like that before. Arturo was like, hey, quieren otra hora? Si quieren, comemos de volada, and then we start again. And there's times where I'm like, nah, fuck it, just keep going.
Yeah.
But luego hay otras veces que I am like kind of hungry by that time. Because no mames, dude, you guys are eating like these badass tacos in front of me while I'm playing all these songs for you. I was like, this tacos, or las quesadillas se miran con madre. You're just like, fuck, that looks like it's going to hit right now. Y luego, ya cuántas veces ha pasado that when we play the gig, they're like, ¿quieren comer? It's like, oh, ya no hay. It's like,
Yeah.
fuck, bro. Like,
Ese fue el taquero.
sí, güey. Like, oh, ya se fue el taquero. Exactly. So, like, by the time we could maybe get something, like, it's done. It's over.
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck out of here, you know?
Fuck out of here, stupid animal.
Fucking skedaddle. Me van a dejar ir así como estoy. Like, de hambre, you know? But no, I definitely think that, like, it's a little bit of a... It's like, they're like checkpoints. I look at them. So if I don't get to that checkpoint, I just keep going. Like, I run out of energy, man. Like, if mentally I'm like, okay, we have 6 hours, and then it turns into another 5 hours,
Yeah.
nah, dude, I would have been donezo like a long time ago. So that's why I'm just thinking like it's. I don't think it's worth it at that point,
Yeah.
especially after I got paid with that. I'm like,
Oh
no,
yeah, bro. He's on my list, bro.
on my no goes. No, pues hay para que te da ánimo, you know, and you
Para que
can,
aprendas.
yeah, para que vayas aprendiendo, o sea, qué son las cosas. So
No.
it's your fault, bro. Anyway, we'll get into some charro chat here real quick, and then we'll let you guys go. All right. So let's see. Are the newbies soft, specifically outside of Texas? What do you think she meant by newbies? Like new to mariachi?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's necessarily like just mariachi people. I think, and this is gonna make me sound like a boomer. But I just think the generation in general is soft. Like I was having this conversation with another director where it was like, we kind of have to walk on eggshells with a lot of kids, like because like obviously you want your kids or your students to stick around in your class. You want them to have animo and do stuff like that. And sometimes I feel like if I taught them maybe the same way as some of my other not just music teachers, but just teachers, like just a general teacher, like even math or reading. If I taught them the way that some of my teachers did, like, I feel like I would be okay, but like they would not be okay.
Yeah.
Because before I would look at it like maybe I was being gaslighted there too, you know, but I would be like, oh no, like I got to do better. Like, you know, like I have to get my shit together, you know?
Yeah.
And now it does feel like sometimes I'm talking to a kid and I'm like, dude, I feel like if I say the wrong thing, like they're going to break down on me.
Yeah.
Like I've had
Okay.
I have had playing tests. Like I have playing tests especially in my middle school. And it's like where we just all watch you play to see how you're like progressing. And then I also do it with singing. So I ask them, okay, just sing me like this first verse. I'll give you your starting pitch and we do it. And I've had kids just start fucking bawling, crying.
Bro.
Yeah. And I'm not the nicest teacher in the world. Like I'm not over here doing, you know, putting rainbow stickers and happy faces on their. I'm not that type of teacher. But like I've never been mean. I've never yelled at a kid. I've never done anything like that. But and I've never even. I mean, I've had like a stern voice before, but again, like nothing worse than my other teachers when I was like growing up. And like I said, like I'll have like, oh here, just this is your starting pitch. All right, ready and go. And they'll play, and they'll just start crying. And I'm like, damn, like it's okay. And I'll try to encourage them. I'm like, it's okay. Like I said, I'm not looking you to be the best singer or anything. I just want to hear what you're doing. All right, ready? How's it? You want to step outside? Like, no, I got it. And I'm like, dude, like, and it's not. I'm not calling them like soft either. I guess that makes it sound like they're bad, you know. But it's just I understand. Like now, like the kids, like I said, you're walking on eggshells. So maybe because that generation is growing up to be musicians in some way, like I feel like maybe they might be a little on the softer side. So by the time they get to a grupo and stuff, they maybe expect it to be like rainbows and butterflies, and by the time they get them, they're like, pues un director que es no medio culero, but like stern, like they might feel as a type of way, you know. But that's just been my experience lately, and I think where like it really changed for me was like the transition from high school to college. Like, you know, professors don't fuck around. Like a professor is like, you got to learn this and this. And here's the test. If you don't do it, by PC, like we'll drop you or you'll fail.
Yeah.
And that's when you like real quick you have to like grow up. You're like, oh dang, like they're not kidding. Like,
yeah.
But I think it's because we're paying for that class, so it's like, ellos no pierden, tú pierdes way. Like you're failing suddenly, you know. But what's your take on that? What do you think? Do you think newbies are soft nowadays?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I don't see that many newcomers. I'm not like you guys. You know, you guys are seeing the youth of America, right?
Oh yeah.
I can't really tell you much, but I have seen that it's just harder to like teach them because it's so easy to get in trouble for it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because the whole point of teaching or to learn was you have to be challenged.
Yeah.
You know, like if you want to do anything, you have to struggle in some way. And I feel like a lot of people can mistake that with like some type of like you're trying, like you hate them or something. A lot of kids say that, right? Like,
yeah,
I just had some students say like, "Oh, this teacher hates me." Like, this and I've had a professor. I'm like, "Bro, you're just dumb." Like, like no one just.
It's like, look at your test. You made a 20 way. I think he's not the problem.
Like if you got if you got a 20 and the mean is like an 80, bro, I think you're the problem. You know, you're the anomaly. Come on,
for real, you're the outlier. Dude. It's you. Yeah.
So I will say that, like, I think because of the way the system is a little bit and how easy it is to get you in trouble, like it's not worth for a teacher to get in trouble over one student. You know, like I can picture a lot of teachers being like, this kid's a problem, but I also don't want to get fired. You know,
dude, I had the exact same conversation with Zara like the other day, my wife, because that's the thing about being a teacher, man. Too, like, it's like any headline that says like, I've seen it. I mean, they're on Twitter, dude. Like videos of like teachers and student fighting because one student that just aggravates them to like, dude, they're calling them names, this and like at that point a teacher can't do anything because if we were to swing. Or like if a kid swings on us and we're to retaliate, like who's getting fired?
Yeah,
I'm getting fired. So I was telling Zara, I was like, I'm sometimes at the point where I'm like, I kind of can't tell the kid anything anymore because like one, ellos se enojan, they do something to me, they fight me, and then I get fired. Two, that kid might be crazy enough to be holding pues, una arma o algo.
Yeah,
and obviously I'm not. I'm trying to come home, you know. So it's a scary time to be teaching the youth of America that is so emotional, that make so many decisions emotionally. Like they don't think of the consequence immediately following that thing that they do. They only think about that one now moment and how they react.
Yeah.
And then that's when you start seeing a lot of the things that you see. So again, that goes back to like maybe the generation. Like, I mean, just given the fact that I've been, it's only been 5 years for me, like 5 school years.
Yeah.
But like in just the difference that I've seen in 5 years, like, so who's to say in another 5 years it doesn't get like peor, you know, or that these kids like you can become even more soft. Like, so that's why at the end of the day, I look at it like I'm trying to teach who I can, and trying to get to as many people as I can, and I want to come home at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I'll give you the contrast too, because like I said, I don't see kids as often as you do, or at all. But where like a teacher or a parent will come to you because maybe you raise your voice at their kid or discipline them in any way, right? To get you in trouble.
Mhm.
When my grandma would take me to the first day of class, like she would tell I mean,
La
this was in Mexico, but yeah, she would tell la maestra, like, maestra, lo que tenga que hacer para disciplinar al niño, because she knew I was, o sea, you saw me like callado in middle school, right?
Yeah.
That's because my grandma would beat my ass as a kid, because you'd be like,
Hey, but you learned.
she would go a la maestra, like, lo que necesita hacer para disciplinarlo, que no hay lo que usted necesita hacer, hágalo. You know, that was basically her telling her, like, we gotta whoop this kid, like, fucking do it.
No,
you know?
yeah, I see it.
And that's very different to today, where like you so much as yell at a kid and their parent comes, or they call the school and they're like, hey, ¿qué pasó? You know?
Yeah.
And that's you. Like, you're gonna get in trouble for that. You know? And like kids can be exaggerating.
Oh yeah,
anything. So
te digo, it is different. It's a difference in I think mentality. And I mean,
I'm also not saying like you should hit your kids. I'm just saying it was a way different time where the kid wasn't as like coddled, I guess. I don't know.
Because you can say these things because you are a non-teacher. Me as an educator, like, I can just agree and say, you know, you know. But like, I see what you're saying. Like, I guess my main point with this topic or whatever is just that, like, I do see. I don't want to say that they're soft. I'm just saying they're more emotional. So because they're so emotional, that has led to a lot of different teachers having to remold their structure, how they approach teaching kids, how they approach, and again, this all applies to mariachi too, because like those same kids are the ones that are joining the mariachi workforce. You know what I mean? Like, so they come up through a high school system or whatever, they go to college or whatever, and then they eventually join a group, and it's like, so now when they get to, a lo mejor tienen un jefe que es medio like, no, yo quiero las cosas así, así, así. We're gonna practice. We're gonna play this, and then suddenly they're like, dude, that guy's a jerk, and he's like, no, he's just the director, but it's just he's not telling you, well, that was pretty good. So, but let's try to make it a little bit better. Like, you put on that teacher voice. Like, do you think the guys from Vargas are telling you that? Yeah. Like, no, you think the guys from Solar? No, like, se toca así. Okay, vamos a, no. And like, you just correct it.
Yeah.
And there's no like, but. No, there's no but. It's just, this is the way that we're going to play it in this group. Y vámonos, you know?
They don't have time to coddle you.
No, there is no time for coddling. So anyway, next one. Do you think that Don Mike will come back out of retirement and join you guys again? What do you think?
Oh.
When I read that question, I was like, well, do you ever
thought
really
it was cool
retire?
that he kept up with the timeline.
Yeah.
You know?
That's cool. Well, first of all, like, I don't think you ever really fully retire. I tell Victor all the time. He says he's gonna retire one day, but now, bro, vas a sacar tu arpa, güey. You're gonna be like, queen. Yeah.
Nah, I can see him coming back if he wanted to.
Oh yeah.
But right now, I think he's just enjoying his life.
Yeah.
Like I said, the brother was glowing.
He was glowing at the quince we played at. Or the wedding.
It was the wedding, yeah.
Yeah.
So if he wanted to, but
it's not really up to us. It's up to our boss, you know. But I'm sure he misses us. I'm sure he thinks about us. You know, I think
he's at his house, you know, on a Saturday night, looking around like.
I know. I think about him.
This sucks. What?
I think about him.
Yeah.
I'm just like, miss that guy.
Every time I gotta say a joke, I'm like, no one's gonna get it.
No one's gonna get it.
I just keep it to myself.
If it's one in Spanish, you're like, fuck, no one's gonna get me. You're like, can't say it. No, yeah, but maybe one day he will, and if he does, open arms. Hasta un besito. I'm like,
ooh. He's like, hey.
This person says, as a teacher, do you think adding a tema counts as a potpourri? I think the reason they asked this question was because I can't speak on things that I don't know nothing about. All I know is that there was some drama down in the valley and something about potpourris and this and that. But I think a tema is a tema. I don't think it counts as a potpourri. If you're asking for my opinion, that's what I think. Like, so if I put my tema, if our tema is char beans, whoa, 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 and then it goes into, you know, el son de los aguacates, I don't know, then that's not a potpourri. I think I had my tema and then I had my song. But I think that it becomes a potpourri when it's a mixture of songs, maybe like 3 or 4 songs.
Ya te voy a chingar, güey.
¿Qué way?
I looked up because I'm being as unbiased as I want to be, as I
Okay.
can. Right? And a medley, according to Webster's dictionary, bro,
Ya vamos a empezar con las mamadas.
it's just combining different songs or pieces or a diverse mixture of assortment of things.
But one's a theme.
One's
a theme song. It's an introduction.
Yeah.
Ya si le pones como más canciones, then okay, I understand. But like then okay, then what's your definition of a potpourri then?
Oh, potpourri is a medley.
Okay.
It's just in Spanish.
So who would listen to a tema on its own?
I don't know, whoever likes the group.
But we don't know the group. It's a competition. So if this is a high school, they're introducing themselves.
Yeah.
That's not a song. It's just a tema. And then pues ya la canción que sigue, that's the song they were performing. That's what I think. I don't know. I'm not even like, because I do not care about competitions. I really do not. I know some people take it very seriously, and they should.
I'm just doing this to have an argument. I don't care either. But
yeah, I can't.
I think there was a rule in that whole commotion thing, right?
There was a rule, and I think that they were like bringing up the what potpourri means as a definition. So then, like, some people were getting disqualified or some shit like that because that was what constitutes a potpourri.
Yeah, but because the tema is a song, I mean, you have to admit that, right?
It's a song.
Yeah,
but it's a theme song.
Yeah, well, you can say it's a short song. In any case, it's a song. I mean,
well, then if that's what they wanted to put as the rule,
that's what I'm saying.
Then make that the rule.
That's what I'm saying.
And then for next time, just don't play a tema.
That's what I'm saying. So like, just be objective. What does the rules say?
Yeah.
Don't whatever. Put 2 songs together. Okay, a tema and another song. That's 2 songs.
No, I agree. If that's what they like constitute it as, then okay, I understand because that's what the rules. I'm a stickler for the rules too. Also, like in UIL, how it says consistently, rarely on the division. Not because you think I'm gonna. I'm gonna get meter en una cosa. UIL states certain things on the rubric for a high school level group.
Mm-hmm.
A lot. Will just say sometimes judges take liberties with what that definition of those things mean. Yeah. So they end up judging a group because their only reference is the Vargas recording or the Sol de Mexico recording or the way their opinion says it should sound.
Yeah.
But is that what the rubric says? No. The rubric says, are they playing what's on the score? And if they're playing what's on the score and it sounds good and this and that, then that should be a Division 1. That's my argument with that.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's a point, if you're going to have a rubric, you should follow it. I mean, that's the whole point of having a rubric.
Yeah.
Because I think having a subjective, like, evaluation, that's kind of like...
Yeah.
Then, and, like, that's how you start getting, like, someone gets a 1, someone gets a 3 on the same performance.
On the same... thank
like,
you. And that's me because as a director, I've seen that kind of stuff. And obviously looking into this... that popped up with the whole tema situation, then if that's what they want to constitute as a potpourri, then just don't put in a tema. Just play the song. But I will say that the norm is that all these people have their own tema, which is great. Introduce your group.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying if it's a rule violation, then don't do it.
Yeah, or what it's called? Amend the rules. Like you can do potpourris unless a tema is what you're attaching to a song.
Right.
Yeah, se acabó.
Yeah.
I forgot what the whole... I wrote about it, but I forgot what the whole...
And that's why I'm not going to give specifics because, again, like, I wasn't there. I don't know anything that really goes down over there. Like, I heard about it. And every time once I start seeing a post, man, with, like, comments of paragraphs this big, I start thinking, like, at that point, it's not even that serious. Yeah. Like, is it really worth it to give your opinion that big anymore? Like, someone needs to change the rule.
Which in the Valley I understand.
That's, like, their whole thing.
But... That's my take. If whatever the rules say, follow them. Yeah. And if not, then
amend it.
You're in the wrong.
Yeah.
You can't. It's not like you made the show and then you got the rules. You had the rules from the beginning. I'm
Yeah.
guessing, right?
I'm assuming.
Okay.
I mean, I wasn't there. Like I said, I don't know
Okay.
exactly how it goes down. But again, like then I think this all comes from miscommunication. Communicate what the rules should be. Make sure everybody understands that, and then do what you got to do.
I think it also came up to like, no pasa nada. You know, like no one's gonna.
And I said, I
Yeah.
can't speak on that. I wasn't there.
Yeah, you're right.
So, but yeah, that's my take.
Point
on
is, I'm with the rules.
it. What's a mariachi you guys think is underrated? Underrated. I don't know.
I'm gonna be honest. I haven't kept up track with groups.
Yeah, I know that this is a mariachi podcast, but I haven't listened to mariachi in a very long time. Like,
No, I listen to mariachi. I just haven't
No, I meant,
listened to
like-
groups, like on their own.
like who would you even say is an underrated? Like, what do you mean by underrated? Because I mean, everybody knows the big groups.
Yeah.
So
I think everybody gets their own little ray of sunshine.
yeah, they all get like their plays, you know, from people who appreciate that group. I mean, I still to this day think I mean, I've always thought Cobre was like that group that just has such a classic sound. Like, so when I hear like their recordings, like, especially like their older recordings and stuff like that, and live and stuff, like, dude, they sound just like those discos do, like
I feel like
igualitos.
that's hard to do.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Especially now because you know obviously people have different groups now and they have different members and everything, so it's not going to sound exactly the same. But Cobre sounded the same like forever, even to this day. I mean, because they have staples like Steve, they have Miguel, you know, as those voices, you know.
Yeah.
So they had that consistent sound like so long. So I mean, I guess you could say Cobre. Like I really. It's because I mean they have their stable job, like they play in Disney and that's their thing.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're out touring like a lot of these other groups. Like you can't really see Cobre all that much. That's why. Were you there in Albuquerque when Cobre was there, or was
Yeah.
that the year before?
Well, I don't know if I went with you, but I've gone one
When
time. I
Cobre was there?
specifically went because Cobre was going.
And then I also saw them when I went to Las Cruces in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I saw
That was
Cobre
cool.
and I was like, oh, like wow, like
Yeah.
they sound chingon. And that was my little 10th grade, 11th grade mind, you know. So I still wasn't exposed to much, but I was like, damn, like so in chingon, you know, they sound good. So yeah, I mean, I guess you could say Mariachi Cobre. How much for the harp?
Well, I am planning on maybe getting a new one. So start putting money in that piggy bank, bro.
40K.
Hey.
What made you want to become a mariachi director, or how did you get started being a director?
El hambre.
Yeah. I had a really bad job. I didn't really like the job that I was in.
McDonald's.
And shout out to John Olmos. I always credit him with giving me the opportunity. He was leaving the school that I'm currently at, and he hit me up and he was like, "We think you'd want to work here." And I never thought I would be a mariachi director, to be honest. I thought maybe in my old age, which I guess came true now that I'm old age. But he reached out to me and said if I wanted to do it, and obviously it was just like an interest thing because after that I had to find out I had to get certified, find out I had to do this. I had chingos of hours of not tutoring, but like online stuff, passing tests and all that. But that all started because it's funny because I always attributed to like a Facebook post. I think I was fed up with that one job, that one day. Una mamada que salió ese día. I worked at a car dealership and I was just like, this is so stupid. I think I remember like, you know, like, so it's gonna make it sound bad, but sometimes you know when you're in a place and you're like, I'm too smart for this.
Oh.
You ever had that feeling? Like It could be like in different things. So I was working at this car dealership and I remember being like, it's gonna sound pretentious too. I was like, I have a bachelor's. I was like, I studied things, you know, like, and I'm dealing with dumb people. I was like, so I was just fed up. Like, I remember I made a Facebook post and I was like, is anybody hiring? Like, cause like I don't want to work here anymore. And it was in a time where like I couldn't. I had been looking for stuff in my degree and I couldn't find anything with little experience kind of stuff. And he reached out to me, so that kind of started the journey of becoming certified and all that. So I always credit to John.
Now look at him.
Yeah, and now I'm just a director, and obviously I do it too because te pagan. You know, it's a job. It's much better than when I was at the dealership. You know, but it's still like something that I ended up liking to do. Like I'm like working with kids and seeing their musical journey. Kind of. I had my first batch of seniors last year, like where I worked with them.
So does you're
their
seeing the
full years.
impact of on the community you made,
What do you mean?
like because kids are starting to go into like the workforce and college and stuff that were under your.
Oh, my tutelage?
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, some of them went to school, others are in the workforce, and good for them. You know, like I always told them that my class is just mariachi, right? But I like to think that I instilled a lot of like the things that I do, which is like I'm respectful when I have to be, like a knowing time and place, and just knowing how to act. Like a lot of them was I got there and they were like, "Blah, blah, blah, blah," and I was like, okay, calmados. You gotta be like me, man. Nonchalant, man.
Nonchalant.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's kind of how I became a director. How did you guys get into the mariachi gigs? Make money?
No, how? Like,
We had to. Pues de necesidad.
well, it's asking like how, like
How do you
like
guys?
Robert got you
get-
into like Allende,
Yeah, well,
right?
Robert talked to me about it.
Yeah, and for me it was in mariachi, and then Sammy called me up for like
I hyped you up, bro. I was like, we have this little boy. He's all skinny, you know, but
the
he could do it.
internito way, like ready for molding, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
Then you got fired.
no, I was talking about Imperial.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that shit. Yeah, that too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but that's it's all like I think the mariachi community is always like who you know, like
Yeah.
so like someone brought me in. It's a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
it's a pyramid scheme. It's like yeah, me and Victor, we're gonna get 2 guys. They're gonna get another 4 guys. It's like how is this not a
And then you
pyramid
see me just fucking.
scheme? The triangle. It's like,
I gotta make a call.
got his ass. How would you advise someone? How would you advise someone who wants to come into the industry with mariachi?
What?
What industry? Like the music
What would you
industry?
advise someone? Oh,
What advice would you give somebody trying to get to mariachi or to the industry with mariachi?
just get into mariachi, I guess.
I don't know. Do your best. Eat your vegetables, and I mean, with anything, it's just you gotta be yourself, man. Like, I think it's harder to be someone that you're not. So just be who you are.
Yeah.
And if people like that, they like that. And if no, just be someone else. You know? No, but for real, like just be
Change.
yourself. Like if you usually like if you're a good player, you're a good singer, like people know about you. Like I said, so like we've had conversations like who can help us out? Like, no, pues este toca bien or whoever, and that's usually how they get their in. So just keep doing what you're doing, and like I said, be yourself. And if you have a strong suit, someone will take notice.
I would add that, and I would add. God damn, so far. Yeah. Oh, I would say like treat people how you want to be treated.
Yeah.
Because you might be a little good, you're gonna play with people that are not so good. Like doesn't mean you can treat them like shit. Okay.
Yeah.
And I would also say like know your self-worth. No te dejes. But as much as you ask for how much you want to get paid or how many hours you want to work, también pregunta, like de quién es esta, qué tono, ask things, try to learn with every gig. Don't just be so self-absorbed, I guess. Where was I going with this?
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
It's like you can't go into mariachi thinking like, oh, voy a hacer un chingo de dinero, because right there you're gonna be like, you're not. But it's more like I see what he's trying to say. It's like you come into a group, like you're there to make money, obviously, but that you're also there like to learn about that group. How do they play? What are their tendencies? What songs do they play? Like that way you become almost not expendable. Because you now are an integral part of that group. Don't just go in there with like, oh, I'm going to make like my $70-$80.
Yeah.
Chingon, right? But like, don't think of it like that. Like, because again, you're working with other people that are at the end of the day, like working to try to put on this event or put on this like concert or group of songs for people. And if it doesn't sound good as a group and it's your fault, like you got to get your shit together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, it's not just you making your little like bank at the end of the day. Like it's got to be that you know what you like. How many times have we talked about that? Where like we fuck up a song, we're like, fuck, we got to learn that shit, dude. And it's because like we don't want to have that same feeling.
Yeah, I'm trying to say like have like a good work ethic. You know,
exactly,
like,
work ethic. There you
you
go.
fuck up a song,
There's a
get
word
back
for
to it, and yeah, try to work with whoever your section is, whoever your group is. I think that's the best advice I can give you.
Right, and that's how you make it in the mariachi world. TBH, like, just be a good player and ask good questions and just actually actively try to be better. Ah, man, this is a long one. We gotta get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
So, thank you guys for coming back for Charo Beans Podcast. We appreciate you guys coming back. This is episode 142. We hope that we gave you guys some insight. I think it was a good one. There's a lot of information, but this is again for a podcast for working mariachis and people that just want to learn more about mariachis. So that's kind of what this whole idea is about. Yeah. So remember, we'll be back next week. Like, share, and subscribe. That's what's going to help us continue to keep bringing these episodes to you. And then you guys did great listening to the first episode and just sharing it around. And follow Charo Beans Podcast, IG, subscribe on YouTube, follow on Spotify, like, do everything you can. Oh, and review. I forgot about that. I think we're the most reviewed podcast for mariachi. So keep that up. We got 5 stars, so don't be a dick. All right. Yeah, keep rating and just put it out there. This is a good podcast.
Yeah.
I think it's fun.
What he said.
Yeah. You got anything else?
No, yeah.
Yeah, estamos. Bueno, have a good rest of your week. We appreciate you guys, and we are out.
Hey, what?
Oh, shit.